Welcome to Meet the Candidate. My guest today is Kim Wyman, a candidate for Secretary of State and currently serving as Secretary of State. Welcome, Kim.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Well, this is the introduce yourself just as an individual, another citizen of the state, starting with a simple question of tell us about where you grew up.
Well, actually, I grew up in Southern California. I grew up in Long Beach and attended Cal State University Long Beach as an undergrad and received a bachelor's degree from that university in communicative disorders, and ended up marrying an Army Ranger, and we were stationed overseas for a couple of years in Ansbach, Germany, where I finished my master's in public administration through Troy State University, and we ended up here in Washington in 1991, and have lived in Lacey ever since, and have served as the Thurston County Auditor and Thurston County Elections Director for about 20 years, and now Secretary of State since 2013.
Well, that's a good summary of your background and bio. I want to go back and ask about, did you have a first job as a kid that helped shape how you interacted with the world?
Actually, I did, and it's going to sound really odd, but my first paying official job was working as a youth sports official. So umpiring baseball games and softball games and basketball games. And I think, ironically, that was the single job that has had more influence on my success as an election administrator than any, because I really learned the importance of, one, learning a profession, being good at it, and learning the technical aspects, and then two, calling a fair game. The way that you really get people's respect and trust is by being fair and impartial, and that those lessons I learned on those baseball fields and courts many years ago, gosh, now 45 years ago, have really served me well as an election official.
And when you're an election official, you get yelled at by both sides.
Pretty much, yes.
Just like being an umpire. Yeah. So is there, in those travels, as an Army Ranger's wife, are there some lessons that you learned from that you've carried forward to today?
Absolutely. I think the biggest one happened in my late 20s when we first were in Germany. We received our ballots for an election the day after an election. And, there was nothing I could do about it. It was disappointing, but it was really the moment where I realized how important my vote was and how important voting was to me as a person, because I hadn't missed an election prior to that since I turned 18. And I haven't missed one since, but it really showed me that doing the job well is important. And when I became the elections director in Thurston County, I made a commitment to myself that no one in my charge would ever experience what I had experienced. And I really fought for voting rights and making sure our elections are secure ever since.
Okay. What drew you into running for that elected position in Thurston County?
Well, it was in a lot of ways career progression. I had served as the Thurston County Elections Director for about 9 years. I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but and I was kind of ready for the next step. And it was a presidential election year in 2000, and I was planning actually on moving our family back to California with my husband, and an opportunity to run for the open seat that was created by Sam Reed leaving the auditor position and becoming Secretary of State, and I went for the appointment and was elected 4 times after that.
And that changed your decisions about where to live. That's a big change.
It did, and much to the chagrin of my husband, who loves the sunshine like we all do, and hates the rain. So we have a deal that I have to buy him a new motorcycle every time I win an election. So he's had a few motorcycles in the last 20 years as a result.
Yeah, that we all make little compromises like that. So one of the other questions is just about other kinds of volunteer or community activities that have really had an influence on your life, or that you find where you find a passion.
Oh, there are a number of ones that I've had the real honor of serving in. I think the ones that appeal to me most are those that are related to young people, and particularly young girls, where I can show them that I was just like them when I was sitting where they were sitting, and that I was an average student. I was a good student, but an average student, and I am now Secretary of State because of hard work and being ready for opportunities that present themselves. And so I love working with the American Legion Women's Auxiliary Program called Girls State, where once a year they take over Ellensburg, the Central Washington University campus, and they have a mock legislature and really government, and they go on to a national level if they get elected, and it's just really fun to inspire them. And so any organization that supports our military families and military service members, all of those organizations I think are close to my heart, and I always want to try to support and help because the work they do is so important.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let you wrap it up with your direct pitch to tell people why should they reelect Kim Wyman as Secretary of State.
Well, this election is the epitome of a choice in between contrasts. I am a candidate who has done this work for over 27 years in an impartial manner, even though I'm an elected Republican. I have overseen over 120 elections, and I've done them well and earned the trust of the people that know elections best. Those are our county auditors and our state election directors and our secretaries of state. And I'm proud to tell you that I have the endorsements of over 50 Democrats, Republicans, and independents that have done that work and know it best. And I say that because that's in direct contrast to my opponent, who all of her endorsements are of the Democratic Party or affiliated groups. And so if you want someone with a proven track record of being impartial in conducting elections and running the office, making sure our records are open and protected and available for public view, for example, these are things that I've actually done. And so I think that on any measurement, if you compare our resumes, you will see that I bring integrity, leadership, and experience to this position. And I would like your vote to continue doing that work for another 4 years.
Okay, well, thank you, Kim, for squeezing time out of your schedule today, and good luck with your campaign.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Sue Lani.
Bye.
90 million Christians are eligible to vote.
40 million didn't.
That's 45% of eligible Christians not voting.
We can change that.
We Believe We Vote was designed to arm people of faith with information on candidates
And how they line up with biblical and constitutional principles.
It's simply WeBelieveWeVote.com.
We're on a mission to rev up the 2020 election.
Tell your friends, your neighbors, and especially your pastors to rev up.
Be an educated voter.
Arm yourself with truth based on the Word of God.
2020, rev up.
Register, educate, vote.
Rev up.
Rev up.
Rev up 2020.